Hello, world. It's time again. I am high. I am Crownson's Corner. The other co-host is Jay. True to the movement.
How's it going?
.4 on Instagram. This is the Healing Chefs podcast. What's up, True? Everybody, calm down. Yeah, I'm a little high right now, but that's smoking a little bit of the pot Buddha. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you can find out. But this is the Healing Chefs podcast. Healing Chefs podcast is all about healing and growing and whatnot. And everybody that we have on here, chef being a chief coming from the word leader, I believe is a leader in their own way, and definitely today's chef is a leader in their own way. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's chef is Laura of Cannabombz and so many other things. We'll get into all that.
So close, Lindsay.
Oh, this is guy.
I will say you coughed your ass off, so you get a free pass.
See, folks, smoke more weed, and you get to be just like me.
Maybe I've been called Lauren, Laura. Listen,
I'm a classic guy stuff. Definitely don't put Laura over there.
I was gonna say something, but it was too late.
Bro, I was too high. I'm too high. Like we smoked that. What was it? That
some Mango Kush Diamonds.
That's it. Yeah, over the top.
But listen, you called me a leader and a chef. So.
Lindsay, let's say it again, folks. All right, hey. Hello, world. I'm just kidding. All right, Lindsay, I'm sorry. I just remember everybody's Instagram name, and I tried to pull it out of the hat, but I apologize. But anyway, okay. Lindsay of Cannabombz and so many other things, products, events, and stuff. How you doing today? Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for smoking me out before.
Absolutely. That was a joint effort. That's the fucking guy. This whole start. but that's okay. But yeah, so if you could explain to people exactly like who you are, what you do.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
My name is Lindsay, and I own CannaMomz CBD Topicals. I also host a podcast called CannaMomzPodcast. And I throw events called CannaMomzClub. I'm hosting my first retreat this summer called Higher Living Retreats. Yep, in June from the 7th to the 9th. So there's still room for that as well. So yeah, I kind of do it all. Started just growing and then made the topicals with the extra that we didn't, trim. And then that led to I couldn't shut the fuck up about advocating and educating people. So I started my own podcast. And then I wanted the community from the podcast to be able to meet in real life. So then I started the events.
Nice.
That's classic. That's way to go. But I've seen a lot of your stuff there, and it's really dope. There's it's super creative, and I really like the way everything is set up and everything. It's just I think more professional than some of the professional people. So
thank you.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that you're not. Ryan talking take 3. But yeah, no, that's super dope. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the first segment, which is cannabis journey.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have this little video play real quick and walking through the woods. I mean, if there was no fuck up, would it be me? Shit. Anyway, so cannabis journey. Yeah, I'm drinking this shit again. Cannabis journey is all about how you found cannabis yourself and where you're at with it now. Obviously, with the podcast and the events and someone just did what? Okay, all right. Sorry, that took me out. But if you could tell us how you found cannabis yourself. I myself was, brickweed and all that kind of horrible seeds.
Familiar.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't try cannabis until I was 19. I was a freshman in college.
What college?
ASU.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So my friends were all kind of starting to try it, and then I was dating somebody who was super into it, and I was living in the honors college at ASU, and all the kids were smoking there. And I was like, you can still get straight A's and smoke weed? Like, I thought it was for my whole life growing up. My brother was in and out of like juvie and stuff for it, like UAs, like getting tested all the time. So I saw it as a very bad thing. I grew up in the DARE program, thought that was so cool. And then when I realized I had been lied to when I got to college, I was okay with trying it. I smoked in a hotel parking lot with my best friend out of a pipe and then drove, which was dumb. But he told me I wouldn't get high. He told me I wouldn't get high.
That's a big
I don't drink and drive. I
misconception.
smoke and fly. And if you're pulling me over, I'm asking you why you fucking with my flight.
Not getting high on your first time is a big misconception. It's not the same for everybody.
I know that now.
Yeah.
But I was 19. This was like 2009, 2008, something like that. So, yeah, that was, and then I slowly stopped. I was like drinking a lot at the time, you know, illegally, obviously. I was 19. And slowly but surely,
living's illegal nowadays.
I mean, who's not drinking at ASU?
Yeah, illegal if you get caught.
Yeah.
Right. And I did get an MIC, so I did get caught once with the whole hip hop team. I was on the ASU hip hop team, and we all got MICs anyway.
That seems about right for the racist ass kind of shit that goes. The whole hip hop team.
The whole hip hop.
Oh, you're all
team.
getting it.
Yeah, fuckers.
Oh man.
But yeah, so it slowly but surely replaced alcohol, and I started to realize that I wasn't a recreational user, that I was a medicinal user. I started having really bad anxiety when I was like 24, 25, right when all that shit kicks in. And I tried the SSRIs, tried a couple, hated it. Like my body just rejects anything pharmaceutical. I can't take pain meds even. Like I can't take...
I was just on them from my back that went out, and I couldn't figure out why I got so sick.
Yeah, that's
why. And they told me, they're like, no, it's because of the shit we just gave you. I was like, oh.
Side effect. Do you want a pill for that?
I'm like,
you want a pill for the pill?
Yeah, they were basically like, oh, you need to take some nausea medicine. I'm like, how about I just stop taking this shit altogether?
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what happened to me. So I weaned myself off of those and just started educating myself and realized that I could medicate myself with plant medicine when it's supposed to be for... The only reason why we stopped using it for that less than 100 years ago is strictly because of greed and racism. So there's no scientific fact behind any of the claims they make negatively toward cannabis.
And they know that.
And
they know
I'll have you know,
they patented it.
Yeah.
They took cannabis out of the DARE program. So
yes, they did.
So we have not let Darren down yet.
No, we let Darren down first.
Is that lion's name?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know his name. Darren. Oh my god.
We let Darren down first, and then they took it off.
He takes CBD now. Yeah. Darren takes CBD now.
Darren takes calming CBD edibles now.
Yeah. Hey, we just let him down with all the other shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not in that club.
I was a leader in the DARE program too.
Same.
Like I was taking people on these
essays.
I think they figured me out real quick because
he's a lost cause.
They let that briefcase go around that I talk about, and I'm like, oh shit, can I take? I asked to take it home. I think, or like I don't like. I asked some stupid ass question, and they're like, yeah, let's go ahead and get that back up to the front of that class. But yeah, I wasn't very smart. I was like, I mean, they had all the different colors and shit, and I'm like, that's cool, dog. What's that one? What's that one? I mean, I don't know. I thought that was like a collection. Played too many video games, but anyway, yeah. So
that's my journey.
We didn't let Darren down completely, or at least he's like cool with us now. But all the other shit. But so, what's the biggest news in cannabis that we were just talking about is the rescheduling. Mm-hmm. Everybody is either absolutely frightened or excited. I don't really care. I've been kind of doing the same stuff I've been doing since I've been doing it, and I'm gonna keep doing that. Like, and you can't stop me. You can pause me, but you can't stop me. But I know there's a lot of fear going on with how we're gonna have access to cannabis, where it's going, especially people in the cannabis industry working right now. But True, what were you saying? You say it's that you don't think it's going to be anything for like 2 to 3 years, or
Yeah, I don't think any big changes will be made for 2 to 3 years. After the big conglomerates buy out the MSOs,
mm-hmm.
then you'll start seeing a bunch of changes. Because just like from when it went
MSO
from
real quick is multi-state
yeah,
operators.
just like when it went from just medicinal here to recreational, how we had that top quality cannabis, and then it got bought out by the MSOs, and then
Mm-hmm.
quality went down, price went up. Same thing's gonna happen here, except there's still gonna be that market, like kind of how it is now. There's still gonna be that market for budget, but it's gonna be in different forms. Like it's gonna be pharmaceutical companies taking over, big tobacco, big liquor. So you're going to be seeing a bunch of tinctures and drinks and
Yeah,
alcohol mixed with cannabis. You're going to see Marlboro,
yeah, that makes
OG
sense.
Kush, Marlboro 100s, like all kind of things. Like these companies have been ramping up for this for over 10 years. They've been preparing for
Right.
this. You know what I mean? So nothing's going to happen right away. And again, like
Start
you
your
said,
seed
yeah, start your
libraries.
seed vote. I have a very extensive one.
Seed
Just
vault,
like
yeah.
like it's not going to really affect the people who don't care. Like if you don't care, you don't care. It's going to affect the Arizona Dispensary Association, all the dispensary owners and cultivation owners and stuff like
The
that.
bud tenders and shit
Yeah,
like
bud
that.
tenders, everybody, the facility agents. That's who it's going to really affect, whether or not they're going to keep their jobs. Same thing when the corporations start buying out the mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
Everybody was afraid. Are we going to keep our jobs? Are we going to get fired? What's
So-
going to change?
So basically, for the small guy nowadays, like as I'm listening to you, it's like as I think about like Shark Tank and whatnot, right? So your biggest thing in the future is either craft and just be happy with what you're doing and push
Mhm.
it out, or do it enough till you get attention of one of the bigger conglomerates or whatever, and they buy you out.
The question will still
The
remain,
the
though.
sellout. Are you going to sell out or not?
Question will still
Sometimes
remain.
sell out, yeah.
What's going to happen with home cultivation? That's the biggest
Yeah,
for people.
yeah. Because why would you go buy it if you know? So,
Why would you go buy from
but then again,
Burger King when you got Kobe beef?
but
in
then
the
again,
freezer?
we've been doing stuff since. And so it ain't gonna stop much, but
Yeah.
it is like for more people that especially like moms and stuff like that,
Mhm.
the legal and stuff will be
People
a
who
lot
don't
better
want
for
to risk
Yeah,
their
I
life.
think it'll
Yeah.
help with
Yeah, especially-
destigmatization of it for sure, and like
it's going to be in like grocery stores and stuff like that,
Decriminalization.
like alcohol
Yeah.
and stuff like
yeah, I
that.
wish they would have just decriminalized it.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
we
know?
all wish they do things a bit different, but when the powers be do what they do, it's because they're trying to fill their pockets.
It'll be interesting to see the decline in quality though, because now we're handing it over to people like you said, pharmacists.
I mean, we're already people are already
We're
telling me
already
that
there.
there's like ounces out there for like 50 bucks.
Yeah.
Like you can't
Hey,
it
look,
can't possibly be
but-
medicine.
What did
But
I
I will
spider
say
mites
this.
or what?
I will say this: there are a couple budget companies that have quality flower at a cheaper price. It's just their C and D buds instead of the A and B buds.
Yeah, I mean,
But
there's
Yeah,
that's
they're not the tops or
few and
whatever.
far between, though.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
being said, it's very few and far between, and I've tried lots and lots and lots and lots of companies.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm not like there's a price point for everybody, but there's
Exactly.
also a point of quality, like quality.
So
of
that's the
life. I don't
biggest, in my opinion, that's the biggest issue with the cannabis industry now is the fact that there is always going to be people who can't afford or people who just don't care
know. Mhm.
about the quality of medicine that they're intaking. That's why these dispensaries are getting away with pushing that so-called medicine to people.
Well, I mean, they
now.
got people by the
Exactly.
short hairs,
Yeah, it's like
because
the
like
senior
everything is
citizens, disabled
expensive, so you're
people.
like
Exactly, man. It's
you're compromising somewhere in life. I
it's
feel that,
like
or you're
moms,
taking
especially
chances.
Yeah.
moms, dads, or people who work jobs that are really iffy about cannabis. Imagine when this takes place and they do take away your ability to cultivate at home, or they do
Mhm.
take away the caregiver program. Then what are those people who can't risk going to jail? Those people who are too afraid to risk it. They're gonna have to
Yep.
settle for whatever crap that they're calling medicine. Like we were talking
Yeah.
about the last episode, those pills, the THC pills that they were giving out before we had our medical program.
No THC.
Yeah, exactly. Like all synthetic. Like
Yeah. It's all a shell game nowadays. But I promise, when we ever put some shit out, I put my reputation on anything that I put out. And if I know anything, and if you know me, it's weed.
hmm
and
There's THC in it.
and with real weed and real drugs.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
So how do you feel? How do you feel that it's going to affect, and who do you feel it's going to affect?
Yeah, basically what you said. We as well predicted that in about 10 years, Coke would have a CBD drink. Like
Mhm.
you can't stop progression,
Mm-mm.
which I think might come into play when we do talk about the home grows. I don't think you can really. I mean, think about how many people have home grows, especially on like the Northwest coast.
Well, we do here have that 3% task force that goes around already messing with people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
I mean, there's like helicopters flying over all
Yeah.
the time, especially even I'm in Chandler.
Yeah,
Like,
and
why you flying at like 5:00 at night or 7?
in my neighborhood, they use any reason, any excuse to go inside your house and check for whatever. So my wife accidentally called 911. She butt dialed 911, and
Oh, God.
when they called back, she didn't answer. So I'm like, oh shit, we're in the ghetto. I better leave. I better hide everything and just leave, because PTSD from all the stuff that's happened before. And it's sad seeing an industry that had so much promise going backwards.
That's what happens to anything the government gets their hands on. So
And like you were saying,
This is a
CBD
plan.
drinks,
Yeah, it's the plan.
they've already had them.
So
right, but back then I'm talking like 2013.
Hmm.
As soon as the caregiver program came out and you could grow 12 plants per person that you were caregiving for,
Mhm.
you just had to be 25 miles away. It was your address had to be registered 25 miles away.
as a crow flies too.
As the crow flies, keyword, and as long as it wasn't near like a church or a school. So when
is
that
damn near
happened, I was
impossible
like,
now.
we were like, here it comes. Like
Yeah.
Coke's gonna have it, like you said, Marlboro's gonna have it. So enjoy it while it lasts. Like these boutique
I'm gonna tell you
home
this:
grows.
by the time I'm like 70, 80 or something, you're gonna be able to go into a store and buy like cocaine and shit like that. It's gonna
Ketamine.
well, whatever you want.
coming out.
It's
That one's coming.
It's
You go to Oregon, you get it for
I
free.
did see
Yeah.
that ketamine is Schedule 1 too, right?
Yep.
uh-huh.
But they have like ketamine treatments in
Mhm.
Scottsdale, so there's got to be
Yeah,
gray
so
areas.
it's
And
popping
there's
up every-
loopholes, just
everywhere.
like there is with cannabis.
already
There's
pretty-
loopholes.
So while
Yeah.
we're in the
I'm-
state capitol trying to protest and fight for 2247, one of the bills that were on the ballot was for psilocybin.
Oh, real quick, let's jump into the second segment, which is Trip Tales.
Goes right into
We
it.
went-
I
yeah,
mean,
you went in for it.
segments.
Not by me.
Oh yeah. Let's not do that. But yeah, so what you said, psilocybin and what?
Yeah, so when we're fighting for 2247, they're proposing, especially for military veterans and other people with PTSD and such things, they're proposing a psilocybin treatment.
Yeah, that's going on, and also since like 2013, they've had Spravato.
Yeah, but this is something kind of like how we have massage parlors.
Mm,
There would be spots like that, but for specific.
somewhere you could actually go.
Yeah, somewhere you can actually go and be
Oh.
monitored
Yeah,
while you're having your treatment, and
Like a guide.
yeah,
Well, yeah, for
but
sure,
it's going to
like-
be more spots available than how it was. You know what I mean? How you would have to pry and look for a place that even allowed psilocybin treatments. They're trying to just make it more available.
yeah. I was doing deliveries a couple months ago, and I pulled up to one place, and right next door to it, they had a banner out that said ketamine therapy coming soon, and I'm like, bro, what? But
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of ketamine. That's like really what helped me and helps me change shit around. Like when I get to like my military shit, that demon starts coming out and
Yeah.
everything. I gotta be like, okay, guys, take a step back. And that's
Mushrooms for me.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
recommended to me too because I've experienced grief a lot. So my friend was like,
have
you
you
should do ketamine treatments.
so with Trip Tales, we talk about, obviously info and stuff about all sorts of things, but have you had any experience with psychedelics? Or
I have microdosed for sure a couple times, and then I thought I was microdosing after that, as I was telling you, but someone just gave me like mushroom chocolate, and it had like a bunch of B vitamins in it, so I thought I was like, my mood was better, so I thought I was microdosing. So I've microdosed for sure a couple times, and then thought I was microdosing a couple other times.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that whole clandestine market sometimes
got me.
Is a
It
bit
got me.
The
equivalent of hemp seed oil to CBD.
I've also at times, back in the day, allegedly made a bunch of shit, and some of them didn't come out, and people were upset, and I apologized to them, and I wanted to make up to them like a while ago, but
that's a big difference from intentionally feeding someone something they didn't ask for,
right?
And just not getting that perfect.
But
right.
I'm a chef,
but I'm all for it.
Like, God damn it, like it hurts my feeling. I'm like, I did what? What happened?
Mm-hmm. But I'm the same way.
But I always try to like fix the shit. But no, that sucks. Like, I can't believe someone, especially with psychedelics, that like karma is a huge fucking thing with psychedelics.
Yeah, and it's real.
And you're paying into that. And if you're people over on selling or making money off of psychedelics, that shit's coming for you.
Yeah.
and
I'd love to microdose every day. I know it's great for mental health. So anything for that.
It definitely is.
I'll try.
I'm currently off 1.3 grams right now.
Yeah. I would love to be there with you.
I think this is the most I've talked on the podcast since I've been on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm trying to, that also, and I'm trying to like not be the only person talking, because too many times it's just Ryan's talking. But I wanted to, like, as we were talking about out there, the Paul Stamets has a stack of shrooms, and then also getting in with niacin.
Spell his last name.
Stamets. Psilocybin. He's a big proponent of all these. He if you go up and look him up at some point in time, he's like 100. He knows they categorize like hundreds or an insane amount of different species within like fungus and stuff like that. And he has an actual stat that he had on Joe Rogan recently, where the people took his stack and like their ability, like, so when you have like mental issues like brain traumas and stuff like that, they do a tap test,
right?
And they showed with his stack, and then with just psilocybin, and then with no stack.
Okay.
With nothing. Obviously the nothing, people whatever over time, but like in the 30 to 60 days, it was 60 days, I believe, the psilocybin went up a little bit, so it helped a little bit. But with his, it went like exponentially higher, like almost like 4 to 5 times. It was insane.
Yeah.
So, and he explains how all that stuff works together. So I just feel like the biggest thing that we've done as a society is gone into all these unnatural ways to cure natural things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and after the fact as well.
Yeah.
Instead of preventative. It's always after the fact, and it's always
you're treating a symptom,
a chemical.
not a
yes,
problem.
You're putting a Band-Aid
It's
on.
not a treatment. That's
that's why my back still hurts, even though they gave me all the fucking pills.
Yeah, well, that's how the endocannabinoid system works. It like actually stops the signals from getting to the brain because it works in a retrograde manner. It's the only system in your body that works the opposite direction. So it can actually go in and stop chronic pain signals molecules from reaching the pain portion of your brain. Whereas pain meds, like you said, are after the fact. You have pain, then you take it, and it masks it,
and you still have to wait.
Cannabis stops it.
So another reason cannabis is good for seizures. If you had seizures long enough, you get to the point where you know when you're going to have a seizure. A lot of the time,
stop it before they reach the brain.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's certain strains that work really good, and it's just weird that it happens to be a lot of strains that have the THC, which is that appetite suppressant. Yeah, it's kind of weird how that works, but well, in my studies at least, I found the ones that work best for me when I'm about to have one is anything that has THCV in it or something that's high in CBG.
CBG, yeah. The mother.
Yeah, the mother of all. And really great for
cannabinoid.
anxiety and depression as well.
Really great.
Yeah.
Speaking of mothers, it's Mother's Day coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Call your mom. Do something. Love you, Mom. I know you're watching. At some point in time.
Have you ever macrodosed?
Yeah, macrodosing. Yeah, like
No.
7 grams in a dark room. Fucking find yourself.
Yeah.
I've always been told by people who are doing it, if I'm around, that if you think you're going to have a bad trip, don't. And like I mentioned, my anxiety before.
So
Yeah.
in my experience, that's not a real thing.
Okay.
I've had some of my best trips when I felt. The only time I
Scared?
really macrodose now is when I feel all out of whack, anxious as fuck, or angry with the world
I'll
or
have to
with
take that
myself.
into account.
Yeah, and I go, this is me, everybody. Don't do what I do because I'm a bit different.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, so my macro dose is about 14 grams,
Mhm.
and with that, I also take a little Lucy, and sometimes I play with a little Molly in there to. That's my stack for my mental.
True stack.
Yeah, my mental breakdown stack is
Yeah.
those 3.
Yeah. Any of that, like shrooms and stuff, like macrodosing helps a lot. Like I never say anything's a bad trip. There's always
You always learn.
there's a challenging trip
Yeah.
maybe, but the biggest thing is like everyone, please listen to this. Like when you're ready to trip, have a fucking plan B. Okay. One of the best things that's ever worked for me when I'm all of a sudden having a bad trip or I'm in my apartment or something and like something's scaring me or some shit, I find a safe place to go walk or something outside where I'm not going to be in like traffic or around a bunch of people. Even just go check the mail. Some people that's like, you could die doing that. But like somewhere safe, just like have something else like to get you out of that situation, because then it's all perspective. If you get into one of the things with psychedelics is not just repetitive motion things. Like you can get locked into going, hey, I dropped my glasses, pick it up. Hey, I just dropped my glasses, and just keep doing that shit. It's a real thing. So it's the same thing you're doing in your brain. So when those bad trips are going on, you're like, oh, I could think about is this. Well, go outside, look at a fucking tree.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I've heard nature for sure. Be outside in your backyard in the grass.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity. Yeah, that's the
Yeah, I
best
love
place.
being outside. So
Yeah.
And if it's your first time, just make sure you have somebody who's experienced
Trip
with you.
sitters.
Yeah.
Trip sitters.
I did my first one
trip
alone.
sitter.
It was a hell of an experience.
Never been told to do it alone.
I've done things where I've been so scared I've been like curled up on my bed going, it's a drug, it'll wear off.
I got so scared.
I mean,
went
that's
live.
happened to me with cannabis when I first started.
That happens every once in a while. With
Yeah,
cannabis to me, too.
still, yeah. I've had panic
I don't even know how I
attacks.
do it. It's like
Not
sometimes.
flour, but it's happened with me with concentrates for sure. I took a 6-gram dab in Oregon and forgot how to breathe.
Concentrates for
Seriously.
sure. Yeah, like especially if I've had something and all of a sudden I smoke and I'm like, this is botanical terps or some shit, and it's not.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
and then I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, that's why education is so important too, because like we're not just because that's happened to us doesn't mean that should be happening. Like that's not a goal.
The
with-
transparency in any market is ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
why you should go with grow your own or people that you know.
and mess
Exactly.
around. Like definitely don't just take 6-gram dabs.
Definitely experiment. Yeah, don't. So I'm an extremist.
Made me cough.
I'm
Yeah.
an extremist.
But that's
and
you
again,
messing around. Like
and
you
again,
can do that.
I
Just don't. Not
didn't-
your first time.
I didn't give myself that dab. That
Yeah.
wasn't me going like, yeah, I'm feeling.
Yeah,
fucking-"
right. I
No,
know some
no,
people are
yeah,
so
I
rude
was
about
6
it.
grams.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I
Bro.
was ninja dab, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's oh my god.
It was about 62 degrees in Oregon, and I was drenched in sweat for 2 hours.
Yeah. Cough your ass off your first dab
Bro,
or a
you're-
6-gram.
I didn't
dab.
cough. I didn't.
That's
I
one of
just
those
barely
things, like,
started
when you
coughing
get,
off
like,
dabs. That's new shit for me.
when you
I
get
don't
when
really-
you get so drunk that you're like laying on the ground trying to hold on to the fucking grass
And-
so you don't fall off the earth.
And
every
it's
time you
still
look up,
spinning.
it's spinning.
Yeah.
Helicopter. Happy Cinco de Mayo. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Feliz
kind of,
Cinco de Mayo.
yeah, it's a think it was a created holiday somewhere. Like I don't remember. Like
It's one of the few holidays I actually love.
yeah. I don't
Chill
know
with
if
your
it
friends,
like
cook.
I don't know the
History of
the
it.
history of it, so I'm not gonna speak on it too much because I'm ignorant to the history. I knew it at one point in time, but my stone Brian
That's
Brian
your
talking
name.
take 4. If you can't understand that, I can't even speak right now. Like, like I don't. Yeah, but happy Cinco de Mayo. Go ahead.
It's in Mexico. Cinco de Mayo is primarily observed in the state of Puebla, where the historic Battle of Puebla took place.
There we
It
go.
commemorates the Mexican victory over the French Empire on May 5th, 1862.
I knew it was like
It's not Mexico's Independence Day. That's a whole different.
Yeah, I knew it was. That's why I didn't want to say
I knew
that.
there was a battle and that it wasn't their Independence Day, but
I just-
again, I shut the fuck up if I don't
I just
know
sound
for
stupid
sure.
regardless when I talk, so I just wanted to thank you for that. So, but
I
happy
just-
Cinco de Mayo.
I
Fuck
just
the French,
remember that
fucking froggies.
we're in the age of
Hey, do you remember-
technology.
Everybody
Do you
knows
remember
that.
that one time that the French battled those one people and won? Me neither. I don't know. I've never
French
heard
have
of it.
French have won
Just
battles. So
kidding.
they
Beautiful
have
place,
won.
though.
I'm just like in the most recent.
Oh no.
I mean, we're not talking like Napoleon.
Okay.
There was that. I mean, he did a lot. Where are we at now? All right. Anyway.
We just did Trip Tales.
All right, let's go to this break because I'm just rambling into Napoleon now. 1 second. And
Upon Films present There's Only One Name for News with Damon and Aisha. Habari Live Podcast. Habari Entertainment. A race against time. On a quest for glory. Habari News Weekly, HabariEntertainment.com. Catch us for more. Visit us, HabariEntertainment.com.
And we're going to go ahead and jump into mental health is wealth. And we'll just let it rain on your... Why?
That doesn't sound like rain.
It's I forgot where I got it. Is actually rain. Oh, are you talking about?
No.
Oh, like you talking about that TikTok shit?
No.
Like don't do that. So, mental. I don't remember where I got it, bro. That was like about 2 years ago now, or years. I don't fucking know.
Well,
Sorry.
it's true.
Oh,
The
water.
that is true, but that's
What we're
something
talking about
else.
real quick in TikTok, they exposed it or somewhere that
It's frying chicken.
a lot of rain sounds are actually frying chicken or something like that, and so you turned it completely racist. But no, they
Bro.
did on the TikTok.
They really
Oh,
didn't though,
wow.
because the sound of frying chicken is actually very soothing.
Agreed.
No, I'm just saying some people that made videos about.
I don't
it.
have TikTok, so I don't know.
Oh, I was just like, wow, bro. Anyway.
Mental health is wealth.
Yeah, that's the state of the state of the world right now. Is everyone's having troubles, and being a mom, you have to deal with not only your own but the little ones and everybody else around.
Yeah.
So how is it that cannabis and stuff has helped you with your mental health and whatnot?
Oh my goodness, night and day. When I consume cannabis and have to do mom things like whether it's cleaning up after them or feeding them, cooking or playing with them or getting them ready or taking them somewhere. I mean, you name it, cannabis helps. When I have cannabis in my system, I am more present, more patient. more playful, more kind. I am less stressed. I it's just like I said, night and day. Like I will notice a difference, and I'm sure they do too. I mean, they're not dumb. They even as children, because they can't relate so much with language, and like a lot of the words we say go over their head. They feel even more like they're even more energy receptive. So I'm sure they're like, oh great, she's going in the garage. Like, thank God, you know.
I've heard so many moms tell me that their kids are like, do you need to go?
Yeah. Do you want to eat some Oreos when you get back? Like, can you chill the fuck out, Mom?
Have never verbally said that, but they have visually said, can you please go do whatever the hell it is that you do when you go.
Yeah. Like my son's super into playing basketball games in our hallway right now. And I'll be like, let me just go out back and have some medicine with daddy real quick. And then I will be like, you know, stealing it from him, being like cookies and like, you know, like I'm in it and I want to like, it's more fun. And he knows it too. Like it's more fun for both of us. I love playing Candyland when I'm high. I don't sober. I don't love it sober.
Candyland's I grew up playing Candyland. It's dope. I don't want to play that
like
shit
14
sober.
times in a row.
I don't want to do shit sober.
14 times in a row.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't do shit sober.
I don't want
and mad at you when you win.
At all.
Mad at you when you win. Like it's a lot on your emotions.
Candyland is dope, bro. There's like candy there, and he's like,
you don't know what Candyland is?
I know what it is.
It's just the candy.
It's been a while, right? For a lot of
I don't
us,
know.
not for moms.
I grew up with as a kid like all the different colored shit and everything.
I have them in my bathroom pantry right now.
He loves Trouble too.
Yeah, see, there we go.
And charades, which
there we
is
go.
So cute. Yeah.
Trouble, charade.
Yeah.
She's talking games.
All
I
of
love
that.
So you got to be moving around.
Or even going on bike rides, like it makes. I'll walk around. And I'll be like, oh, my neighborhood is so beautiful. It's like rocks and like some flowers that the landscapers planted. But I'm just grateful to be there. Like the wind touches my face, and I'm like, oh, my beautiful children.
Just getting outside.
Yeah.
Just hearing that part.
But when I'm like sober and doing it and not in the mood,
like ugh.
Okay, I mean, I have great days where I don't have to medicate as often, but when I do have to medicate often, because like I said before, life has just been throwing it at me for the past like 5 years nonstop. I definitely notice the difference, and it makes like going outside capable. And you know, if I'm getting out of bed and I know I'm going straight to smoke, you know, put some cannabinoids in my endocannabinoid system, which your endocannabinoid tone is the lowest in the morning. When you smoke right when you wake up, you prevent a lot of mood imbalance and you prevent a lot of inflammatory pain. So you're not waking and baking because you're a stoner. You're waking and baking because you need your medication. But if I'm really depressed or having a hard day or missing my brother, my mom, and my dad, who have all died, I will smoke some weed, and I'm grateful for my children instead of focusing on what I've lost. So it greatly affects my mental health as a mom and a person.
Well, sorry to hear all that.
Yeah, that kind of hit. That was like a missile.
Yeah, you're telling me.
So I'm like,
yeah. Right. So grief. I mean, I talk about that a lot on my podcast, CannaMomz, and on all my platforms because I'm very familiar with it. And I feel like if you're grieving and you're not using cannabis, I am so sorry. And I wish I could smoke you out and send you CBD edibles and
absolutely
medicate you, because it 100% helps the grieving process and helps you find the good in the journey of getting stronger and becoming resilient and stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Not
because
focusing on what you've lost.
It doesn't fix. It never gets fixed.
No one's coming back.
Because
they're not coming
like
back.
I deal with
lifelong thing.
I talk to people about this like every summer. It starts because my dad killed my stepmom and then killed himself. So like that's how my summer starts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My death date's April, May, June.
Yeah, my mental health goes like that.
I'm so sorry.
And I know I'm sorry for yours.
Y'all are really fucking me up right now.
I'm sorry, but like that's just how.
Just be grateful for what you have. Not everybody has it. Like Mother's Day is hard. Father's Day is hard. I'm sure for you as well.
I definitely wake up in the morning. I gotta smoke because
some days
because even hard. Some days
that's
like,
your reality.
I can have everybody around and just feel lonely as fuck.
Exactly,
because I miss those people.
And
even those people weren't even good to me at times. Most of the time. Like I still
valid.
Yeah, but
still valid.
I like that. Yeah, it makes you more resilient, and I smoke and shit to like put put that armor on myself sometimes and get to going and shit. So
Yeah.
but it all starts with like taking those steps forward and shit like that.
Yeah, and it's not the only thing. I mean,
No,
therapy
I
is
mean,
great, and
yeah,
like we're
I go to
talking,
therapy.
psychedelics are great, and yeah, talk therapy,
My only
EMDR.
thing is to ask
Excuse me.
people stop using. If you have access to cannabis or psilocybin legally, please stop using pharmaceuticals and alcohol as a masking agent for your pain and despair, because you're just
You're just harming your physical self
Yeah.
in the
Like,
process.
I did it for.
I mean, shit. Even drinking Coca-Cola is horrible for you, bud, because like you got stuff in there like phosphoric acid, which is an actual rock, and then it is a corrosive,
Coca-Cola, Dr.
Oh, I
Pepper,
know.
and
My
it rusts the
family loves
unrustable.
Coke, and I'm always like,
It
I
rusts
use
the
it to
unrustable.
clean corrosion off of my.
and now I
bladder
can't
terminals.
drink it.
It's all poison.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
said real nasty stuff about this, but I'm so addicted to caffeine and shit. But here's how they get you. It's the caffeine and the B vitamins together that ups your mood, and you're like, oh, I'm in a fucking better mood. So and then you get addicted to it.
Yeah, it's legal though, right? But cannabis is dangerous.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
It
Don't
just
drink
doesn't
this.
make sense. Who's
This
in
is also-
charge?
this
I
is
think
also
that only
not me.
women should be in charge of everything from now on. Hot take. I said it.
All right, so next segment.
Yeah.
These men
that-
and their egos.
No, hey, there are plenty of things that need to be taken over by who cares how you identify.
Yeah, true.
But I
I
don't
like that
I don't
too.
I don't really want to make it one way or the other. It has been one way for a long time. Believe me, I grew up being raised by women, and when I found out about sizes alone in clothing stores, I was pissed the fuck off wanting to fight somebody. I'm like, you're making my grandma, my mom, and my sister feel like what?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. So
I just think men are
but-
presented with like facts, and pride will win every time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like women, and this is like, our brains work differently. It's just how it is,
yeah, I mean,
But
We'll say some.
I mean,
yeah, some true.
I mean,
Generalizing. Also, non-binary people, you can join the party too. All for it.
yeah.
And you're right. It doesn't have to be all men or all women. Change needs to happen. Like the fact that we can ingest a monster and like,
We all need to understand that
Paradise Bakery or Panera killed like how many people off there?
Yeah,
But cannabis is like,
I'm
I'm
just
just saying.
on Panera real quick, man.
I'm
Those
just
chicken
saying.
sandwiches had my stomach violently. Like I literally had to
they
go
had
to the
chicken
hospital.
sandwiches.
Yeah,
I didn't eat any.
I had to go
don't
to the
eat Panera.
hospital, bro. That stuff messed me up so bad. My stomach hurts just even talking about it. Like,
I remember
man.
those places when they were like St. Louis Bread Co. You remember that, man? You remember that? You were in St.
Good
Louis.
then.
Yeah, it was good then. It was real good.
Back in the
Nowadays,
day when they were using actual ingredients.
it was like, but then they had like Atlanta one too. They had the St. Louis Bread Co. They had Atlanta, like different places. But then that all became Panera. I'm like,
Hospital food.
yeah. Not
Don't
even,
do
I bet a
hospital
man
food like
owns it.
There's some.
Don't do hospital food like that.
Oh no, dog.
Some hospital food.
Fuck
is
hospital
good.
food. I hate the hospital and their food.
Yeah,
I don't like hospitals. But
Yeah,
the
exactly.
food is the
The
only
foods
thing that
inside
got
it.
me through.
The hospital's a bank. I don't care what you say. That
Mm.
hospital's
A bank full of germs.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Pharmaceuticals are a bank.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But
anyway,
this
That
this
change.
last
My
segment,
point was really that change needs to happen, and that's the most radical way I could see it happening the fastest.
Well,
That's
there we
I
go.
think that's a lot
I
of what's
agree.
already happening, especially in like the different sectors in the cannabis industry out here
yeah,
that
it's
I've
definitely
seen.
women led,
Women
leading
led,
that way.
yeah, especially in
It's
like the
exponential.
corporate
Yeah.
areas and stuff. HR.
Now,
and
there's
stuff.
still more men. There's still more men than there are women, but it's
and there's
it's
still
proportionately-
abuses happening
yeah,
all over the
proportionally,
place.
it's much better than a lot of other industries, which wasn't the case.
Which is kind of
I'd like to see a lot of-
scary with the rescheduling and stuff like that. I don't know what it's going to change for those people that have made all that fucking headway.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
I think there's going to come in like anything and clear out and lowball everybody. Unfortunately,
well, there's going to be people who have the resources financially and like employees wise to adapt,
yeah.
and then there's going to be people who won't make the
But that's
cut.
what I've been saying about the dispos. You can go and like if you don't understand where all these bud tenders and stuff have come from,
Mhm.
go look in Walmart and see how many
Burger King.
cashiers.
Well,
are
and no
there
one's
anymore.
a better expert than an actual stoner who's been smoking since they were
And that's the thing.
15,
Anybody
19.
that's been doing those
that's
cashier
that's what
jobs.
the
That's the
expert
thing.
is, not the
That's the
person
thing.
who
These
studied it
people-
in school.
These people that are in these positions now aren't.
Consumers.
They just became consumers, and especially when it comes to owners of cultivations and dispensaries, 8 out of 10 of them don't consume, had never grown anything.
Yeah, because a
and,
bunch of rich people saw the opportunity and had the money to buy in
The roughest thing that
when
I
the
have
monopoly started, and
when
now
I'm
they're in.
thrust it, pause, into going into going into a dispo to buy something or some shit. I like most of the bud tenders I talk to, unfortunately, don't know
they're
anything. But then I
uneducated
find out they also get paid from different
for pushing
for
certain things. Yes.
different products and stuff. And then
Yeah.
when I ask you, I'm like, hey, did you try that? You like that? Like, I like it. Like what? Like about? Like what did you like about
How
it?
did
Like
you
what-
feel?
good.
What,
Yeah.
it's good. I like it. It's good. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I was a bud tender for years.
Me
And
too.
that's why I had to get out of this shit, because I'm just like, because I had someone next to me at one point in time calling shit chem dog. I'm like, bro,
Oh my
what
gosh.
the fuck is chem dog?
Bro.
Like,
bro, this is
Chem
why I
dog.
sorry,
quit.
I get into my
That's
weed nerd
bad.
shit, and then
That's why I
when
quit.
get kinda,
Quit being. That's why I went back to the cultivation, back to the back end of it, because I enjoyed being. We called it patient consultant.
Mm.
That was my favorite time
Yeah,
of
it's
the
really
cannabis.
fun to educate.
Yeah, that was my favorite time in the cannabis industry here, is when we had real patient consultants that actually knew what they were talking about and actually cared about the
not
patients.
brand ambassadors in bikinis.
Yeah, but I got in trouble for telling
That
someone.
part.
They started giving us these two-way freaking mics that we had to put on every day,
Mm-hmm.
and they can hear everything we're telling the patient. Because at this time, I still looked at them as patients before they started looking at them as customers. But
Yeah.
I would tell the patient my honest opinion. I would literally try everything that we had so I can give an honest opinion.
So I got
But
fired from one place.
when I gave my honest opinion, all I got in my headphone is, you can't say that. You can't
Yeah,
say
because
that.
it's a corporation eventually. The
I mean,
bigger,
Like, what do you mean? This
the
is
more
supposed to be,
access, unfortunately, the bigger the corporations
but
have
it's
to get.
supposed to be a medical field. So how is
Yeah.
it legal for these people to push this dirty stuff, like literally dirty? I've seen stuff fall on the floor and be repackaged and sold, and within 10 seconds of it falling in the floor. You know what I mean? So how is it legal that these people can still stay in business, yet the people who call it out get penalized?
Money.
Mm.
Who's got the more money? Who's
Yeah.
got the more lawyers? Who's got the more lobbyists? Who's got the? I mean, you and I
In the
both
medical
know.
field, isn't that just disgusting though? Like,
I
I
mean,
understand
the
the
whole
cannabis
thing's
is a
disgusting.
I mean, the medical
recreational.
field is the one who
cancer
sells.
cancer is a trademark.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah, the medical field is no better than the
And
government.
doctors
It's so
know
bad.
that 99%.
Not everyone. Again, not everyone. I mean, we're speaking in generalities.
Yeah, in general,
But
we're speaking.
we've got a lot of evidence to back up that generality.
As a cancer survivor, I'll say
Oh,
chemo
wow.
doesn't help. The doctors know it doesn't help. They get money on the back end every time they administer a chemo treatment. It's
so
horrible,
unfortunate
man.
that
Like,
it's so expensive to live healthily in this.
yeah, you can go.
You have to have money
now
to
they're taking
afford
vegetables and shit.
Yeah, you can get a
acupuncture
cheeseburger for $5, but you gotta pay $12.85 for a salad. It used to be $8. They're like 12 something now.
I bought blueberries for $9 the other day. Fuck. Blueberries.
Yeah, my wife bought a freaking avocado for $7.
Yeah.
Why?
What?
Why?
No, you didn't. I'm not.
I didn't.
I know. No, I'm fuck that.
So
I'm a chef. This shit
it's
pisses me
in
the
all
fuck
ways.
off. I'm a chef, and I'm sitting here as a single man. Like, I live almost with food and shit, almost kind of like day to day or week to week, because
you have to, because
like,
this stuff goes bad so fast.
And then I've just wasted so much money.
Yeah. All right. So our next segment is Plug Talk.
Yep.
Any shout outs you want to give?
Wait, real quick. Let's get the
just ASMR.
Plug Talk. I wasn't on the podcast.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
Plug Talk.
Plug
Myself?
Talk. Yes. Do you have any shout outs, anything that you have coming up?
Have you seen that clip of Snoop Dogg where he's like, I'd like to thank myself
Yes.
for working hard.
Hell
I'd like
yeah.
to thank myself.
Mm-hmm.
So my company is Cannabombz. It's CBD topicals. I actually
CBD top.
brought you guys some.
Oh, hell yeah.
So if I'm gonna plug, I'm gonna plug. This is my pain relief salve. It has 2,500 milligrams of full spectrum CBD in a 2-ounce bottle. It's made with all organic ingredients, organic essential oils, organic beeswax, organic carrier oil, which is coconut oil. It has thousands of 5-star reviews and helps so many people with so many things.
Dope.
The reviews are in my Instagram highlights in the little bubbles. And then I make bath products as well. This is a bath bomb. It has 400 milligrams in it of full spectrum CBD, organic essential oils, organic baking soda, citric acid. There's Epsom salt in there because everyone is deficient in magnesium. Helps you sleep, helps you with lots of stuff. And I also make roll-ons and lube. Everybody loves the lube. All kinds of things. So healing gel, aloe gel. The aloe gel is 4,000 milligrams.
I need that.
It helps a lot of people with nerve pain.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah. So I've helped a lot of people. I've gotten messages that say like, I'm off pain meds. I'm off daily Aleve. I'm crying writing this. My grandma can walk again. I mean, you name it. And these are these are all online. So
that's what this shit is about. Like,
That's
the
reason I got into the cannabis industry.
Yeah, so that's how same. I realized that it was medicinal and not recreational. I started growing, started making this with the trim. And then before I was into this, I was a dancer, ballet, tap jazz, point shoes, like you name it. So those shoes really fuck up your feet. And I had to get a bunionectomy, an old lady surgery at 25. And like I said, my body just rejects any pain med I give it. So I fucked around with these and it was the only thing that helped. So once I realized it could really help, I started selling it, and then the reviews came rolling in, just like how they couldn't live without it, like please never stop. And then I made it a company. And that's Cannabombz. And then my
It's IG plug real quick, where to find
IG. I used to have a TikTok. They deleted it. It's on LinkedIn. But mostly Instagram.
Cannabombz with a Z, CannaBombz.
Yeah. And I also do a lot of videos that advocate for cannabis on there. I'm actually sponsored by a local dispensary to make content for them. Nice. Just advocating to my niche, which is CannaMomz and wellness, people that are into wellness.
Makes sense.
And then I have a podcast, CannaMomz with a Z. The Z is me. So if you see a Z, it's likely me. And that where I advocate for cannabis and motherhood, or just in general. It's not, my intro says or non-moms, but always about cannabis. So I'll like interview a therapist or a doctor or a fellow mom. And that's actually in the top 100 category of parenting in Canada.
Oh yeah.
And top 200 in the US. So definitely check it out. It's good.
Hell yeah, go you.
And then I throw events, CannaMomzClub, usually in Arizona. Again, they're sponsored now. I did my first sponsored event for 420, but my dad passed away 2 weeks before that, so I couldn't go as hard as I wanted to. But there'll be more. So CannaMomzClub with a Z, CannaMomzClub. And then retreats, wellness retreats for women. I'm all about women and moms, so that's my deal. That's my plug. And awesome. Every follower or shout out or share really helps. Just my whole thing is advocacy and accessibility. It's a medicine, whether or not I'm being flagged or I make money off of it. I'm trying to advocate and provide accessibility for people who are too scared. Like a lot of moms are so scared because of the stigma. So I really try to do my part in breaking that stigma. I feel completely free and confident in my use because of education. And I feel the more everybody educates themselves, the more doctors educate themselves, the more therapists educate themselves, the more medical professionals educate themselves, because I've seen the textbooks, it's 3 sentences and one is about addiction. So the more we can educate, the more we can advocate, the less stigma it will have. Follow me, and thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Just want to shout out Habari Entertainment. If you need any video recording or podcast, anything, HabariEntertainment.com, hit them up. Shout out High Grade, have them eventually Sin City Seeds. I'm going to be growing the shit. So at the end of the month, I'm starting to get my shit together and I'm growing. So we're going to be starting to put out our own flavors that we actually named and stuff from them too. Shout out Pause Consumption, Arise, Pop Buddha, Fino Rich, Dab and Ricky, Mexican Nightmare Vinny, Only Glands, Papadelic, Cookies, the boys out of Santa Cruz, Earth Rhythm, Fuego Family Farms, Native Selections, Growing Passion, The Buck, everybody. Weed. Shout out Weed.
And shout out everyone watching and listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
And we'll be live in the chat on Monday. Monday? Can you be in the chat?
I think so, on Monday. Yeah.
Monday, 5 p.m.
Should work.
Okay. We'll play it by ear, but that, and then next week we got some more stuff coming up. Let me see if I can jump into that. Let's see if we got so it's supposed to be Dab, Bashir, and Jerry. See if we get Jerry down here, and then also Hollywood Betty. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Lindsay.
That's me.
Sorry.
You won't forget it now.
Crowd
though.
went crazy.
You won't.
I will
forget
never
it now.
forget that shit. Sorry so much, but thank you very much for coming.
Mhm.
We'll have to tap in eventually, be a part of some sort of events with you and stuff,
Yeah.
and bring a little of our healing to the table. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, True. Thank you, everybody. Tap in, smoke up, trip out. We're out of here. My whole dad's side of the army. The whole dad's side of the family.